Hello and welcome to the short Vort on Parshas Vayechi, the last Parsha in Sefer Bereshis, and it includes the last days of Yosef Hatzadik's life. And in Perek Nun, Pasuk Chavav, chapter 50, verse 26, it tells us that Yosef prepared his own coffin for when he passes away. And the Sefer Otzar Pla'os HaTorah, as well, tells us that uh, Yosef is the only person in Chumash or even Tanakh that mentions that they were buried with a coffin in an Aron. The Ibn Ezra comments and says Yosef made it during his lifetime so that he will think about the day of death, so that he will contemplate. He also tells the Otzar Pla'os HaTorah tells an interesting story about a secret room that Baron Wilhelm Carl or Shimon Wolf Rothschild had, and nobody knew what was in it. So turns out that this probably not well-known person was a very, very righteous person. But everyone wanted to know why, what was in that room that was locked and sealed and no one was allowed in there. I'll just give you a little background that I found by Google search that based on Mishpacha gave a brief overview, and there's a longer article that you can buy or subscribe. But basically in the 18th century, during the time of the Reform in Frankfurt, Rabbi Rothschild, there was an Orthodox shul there, and Baron Wilhelm Carl or Shimon Binyamin Zev Wolf, Ben Kalman, von Rothschild, would make sure every day that there was a minyan, even if he had to pay the men to come. And he did not spend his money on luxuries. He spent it on supporting the Orthodox community there, and says that while he'd have meals with kings and noblemen, he would have breakfast would be just by himself, would be a roll and coffee. But he supported Torah and Torah scholarship there. And so what was in that room? So people would ask him to what was in there, but it took one righteous person who urged him and begged with him and pleaded with him to let him know what's in that secret room. The people speculated that that's where he had his wealth, his toys, he had different pleasures in there, whatever it was, he was taking advantage because he was so rich. So, and this time Baron Rothschild gave in, and when he went in there, he showed the room, and inside he had dug a grave, and he also had tachrichim, the burial shrouds, and neros, candles. And he told the man that every day I come in for an hour, and I dress up in the shrouds, and I go into the grave, light the candles, and I think about Yom HaMisa, to contemplate tshuva. As the Gemara in Brachos Daf Hey Amud Aleph says, Yazkir lo Yom HaMisa. A person should focus on the day of death. That'll put him in the right way. Unfortunately, he didn't have any male son heirs to continue his name, so he was the last in the line. But despite the fact that most of his relatives were not religious, he actually, and he was born in a non-frum family, he became Orthodox, he became observant, and became a righteous man, worthy of us to know. So thank you for listening. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a wonderful week and a wonderful show.